The American Red Cross has been one of our country's premier humanitarian organizations for over 100 years, doing everything from helping those affected by natural disasters to teaching teenagers how to be great babysitters. As we head into summer, we have Erin Pagan from the American Red Cross Mid-Florida region with us to talk about hurricane preparedness. Erin, welcome.
Welcome, thank you.
Well, we appreciate you coming out today.
Thank you for having us.
Now, let me ask you, when is hurricane season this year?
It starts June 1st, and so of course we're working away to get ready, and it goes all the way through the end of November. So we kind of work now to really start getting people prepared, and of course, you know, even in the spring there's always messaging about get your kit together. And so I actually brought a kit today, and so this is an American Red Cross Disaster Preparedness Kit. And you can actually just make your own. So we offer a kit list, as well as Polk County offers a kit list, so you can find them all over, very readily available. And just start working away at getting your kit together. It looks like a very long list, and I think sometimes people feel like it's very overwhelming, and especially people on a budget, seniors and so forth. And so I always remind people to maybe just once a week, try to get one item. And by the time hurricane season becomes really active, sometime in September and October, you actually have a really robust kit. So we don't ever want someone to feel overwhelmed by the list, so that you almost get paralyzed to say, I'm just not going to do it. Go ahead and start working on it. People need to feel ready to be on their own for 72 hours, and sometimes they don't think about that. They think it'll just be a day until the power comes back on, or until, you know, help arrives. And actually you have to be prepared to be on your own for 3 days. So this kit is really helpful. It gives you all the things that you need. And if you already have a kit, because so many of us have been through hurricane season before, double check it all. Make sure nothing's missing, make sure everything is still working and nothing's expired.
That's great suggestions. Now, what are some of the more important things that people can pack in their pack getting ready for hurricane season?
I always say start with the things that you know you would need right away. If the power were to go off tonight and you couldn't cook, you know, do you have a manual can opener? Do you have a flashlight? Things like that. But American Red Cross also offers 5 apps now. They're all free. And if you just dial ** Red Cross from your smartphone, it will actually send you a text that gives you access to very quickly download any of the 5. And one of them is the hurricane app. And so in it, there's preparedness information, the get a kit information, and then also once a hurricane actually happens, there's sheltering information. So it'll even show you a map to let you know where the closest shelter is to wherever you're located, so you know where you could go if you needed to evacuate.
Oh, that's a great idea. How exciting.
Yes.
Now, speaking of shelters, what is it that our residents really need to start thinking about when it comes to having to either go to a shelter before a natural disaster or after?
That's a great question. I think even as Floridians, lots of times we hear the how do you get your disaster kit together message quite often, and we don't hear as often what you need to do to prepare to go to a shelter. Essentially, I think the best analogy is prepare to go for a 3-day weekend to a hotel room that is empty. Because that's what's going to happen. You're going to go to a public elementary school, most likely, or some other type of hardened building, and you're going to need to be comfortable and not bored. And so, you know, bringing a beach chair that's got some sort of padded cushion on it, bringing a blanket and a pillow, bringing puzzles and books for the kids. You know, prepare to come to be with your neighbors in a safe place, but it is certainly not a place that's going to have television and beds and things like that.
Sure. Wow. Now, I know that you had spoken about the apps that you have. Are there any other technological things that you're taking advantage of as an organization to get your word out to the general public?
Absolutely. We've become much more adept at social media. We really notice that, you know, that's where people are getting their information, and they're getting it very quickly. So people can follow us on Twitter at Red Cross MID Mid FL. So it's at Red Cross Mid FL, and we are pushing out all sorts of preparedness information via Twitter. We also make sure that we broadcast all of our disaster action team responses. We actually respond to an average of 3 home fires a day in this region.
Wow.
And a lot of people don't know that. And so when they see those tweets going out, they really see that, you know, a Polk County family has been helped by Polk County volunteers due to a home fire. And I think that really reminds people that we need volunteers. We need them of all ages, from students to seniors. There's a place for everyone at Red Cross. So from administrators administrative help in the office, all the way to people who actually want to go out and help a family who's experienced a home fire at 2 o'clock in the morning. They're amazing places. So anybody who's interested in volunteering can go to www.redcross.org/mid-Florida. And on the left side of the homepage, it reads volunteer. Just click right there, and that starts the application process. And we need lots and lots of volunteers.
Now, I know that you mentioned some of what volunteers do. What are some other ways that people can help the Red Cross?
Well, there are lots of ways. One, definitely giving us your time. We need so many different types of people because lots of times we get people who work full-time, so we only have evenings and weekends of their time. So getting people who have retired or are small business owners and have some flexibility of schedule. We have so many different things. We have lots of projects. We do Holiday Mail for Heroes around the holiday season, and so somebody can come in and just work on a project, all the way to someone who wants to come in every day and help. There are so many different things that we can do. And we really use our Facebook profile as an opportunity to show people all the different volunteer opportunities. So people can find us at facebook.com/American Red Cross Mid-Florida, and Florida is spelled out. And so if people like us on Facebook, they're able to see all the pictures of the smiling faces of all the volunteers we have around the region and all the different fun things that they're doing. So many impactful ways that you can volunteer with Red Cross. And for anybody else who would like to just make a donation, we have several different opportunities to do that. The way the American Red Cross works, every nonprofit works differently, but we take financial donations. And in that way, we're able to buy what we need up close to a disaster site, which helps the local economy that's been affected by a disaster. It helps us not spend the money on trucking goods from Florida to Oklahoma or wherever it might be. And it helps us keep our volunteers sheltering and feeding people who need help instead of pulling them off to have to wash and sort clothes. So again, 132 years of doing this. We're certainly not perfect yet, but I think that we've done it long enough that we have a really efficient method. And so the way we work is through financial donations. So people can visit redcross.org. They can call 1-800-RED-CROSS, or they can text to give, and they can text the word Red Cross to the number 90999.
Excellent. I know you were just talking about Oklahoma. How is the local Red Cross affected by disasters happening in other places in the country?
Really, we're there to support. We get information out to the community very quickly, whether it be to the general public, our own volunteers, or to the local media. So we're really a communications conduit. But also we're there to help so that if they need volunteers, we're able to deploy Central Floridians to other areas of the country. The way we want to work, though, is most efficiently to get volunteers close to the disaster site first, and then kind of work out in concentric circles so that we're deploying people from other parts of the state only when we need a very large quantity of people, such as for Superstorm Sandy, or when we need very specific expertise, chief positions and things like that, where we need someone who's been with Red Cross a very long time, and there may not be someone in that exact position available up close to the disaster site. We'll deploy them from another area of the country. So, we're there with people. We're there to help get the communication out for how Red Cross is responding, and we're certainly there to also help get the communication out that we need volunteers and we need donations.
That's great. Well, Erin, thank you so much for coming out today to talk to us about hurricane preparedness and everything else that the Mid-Florida Red Cross region is doing to help our community.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
If you'd like any further information about the American Red Cross Mid-Florida region, you can call them at 863-294-5941, extension 5400, or you can go to the American Red Cross website at www.redcross.org/mid-Florida.